Cabbage water. I'm Julie Steele, and now I've got 6 samples of cabbage water from our experiment that we did yesterday to test our garden soil's pH. And I want to see what are the pH levels of some of the other things in the house. For example, I have some dish soap, cow's milk, I've got orange juice, I'm going to have a little bit of egg white, and then we'll look at some tap water and maybe something else if we think of something good. Because I have such small amounts of cabbage water, I'm going to take 1 teaspoon of each sample and mix it into the different beakers of cabbage water. And then we'll let it sit for a few minutes and see what we've got. So now I'll take a small sample, and it doesn't take much. I'll take a small sample of my egg white and I'll put it into my beaker of cabbage water. And now I'll give it a stir and we'll wait to see what happens. Now, another good thing to do when you're in the laboratory or you're doing any kind of an experiment is make yourself a chart or some way that you'll be able to recognize what's in which beaker. So I'm going to go with position number 1 and write it down. Egg white. Since I only have 1 teaspoon measure, I'm cleaning it in between each sample so that it don't cross-contaminate. Beaker number 2, I have some tap water. I put it in a different stir stick, give it a stir, and we'll wait to see what happens, and I'll record what's in beaker number 2, tap water. Beaker number 3, I'm going to put a sample of dish soap in it. A new stir stick. And I'll record what's in beaker number 3, dish soap. In sample number 4, I have cow's milk. 2%, just in case you needed to know. Give it a stir and record what's in that beaker. Clean my teaspoon. Sample number 5, orange juice. Sample number 6, I have baking soda. It doesn't have to be a liquid. It just has to dissolve in the liquid. Give that a stir. Write down what's in number 6. So we haven't even really started yet to let the timer go for waiting on our colors, but you can already see that there are a lot of colors happening, already showing up for our different samples. This is my chart that I made, so I would know what was in each beaker at which position. And now we wait 20 minutes to see what we've got. And we're back. We've had our samples sitting now for about 30 minutes, and we wanted to see and compare them to a red cabbage color scale for pH. And it's important that if you go online to find one, that you find one called a red cabbage indicator color chart, because remember our cabbage water started out purple. So sample number 1, remember we have egg white, and it looks very, very blue to me, which on our chart is an 8 for blue. Sample number 2, we have tap water, and I compared it to our chart to see if it's less than a 7, then it's very acidic. If it's more than a 7, it's alkaline or considered a base. In the middle, 7 is considered to be neutral. So this one, the tap water, is very close to being a 2. So I'm going to call that a 2. Our dish soap was sample number 3, and it's very, very blue. If you compare it to the chicken egg, it's actually more blue than the chicken egg is. The chicken egg is has a little more green in it. So because it's a little more blue than the chicken egg, the dish soap, I'm gonna give it about an 8.5 because it's not quite green and it's not quite violet, but it's very, very blue. Sample number 4 was cow's milk. On our pH scale color indicator, I've matched it at a 4. Sample number 5 was orange juice. And as you can imagine, you would expect orange juice to be very acidic, and it is. It is right at a 2 on our pH scale. And last but not least, our baking soda. And it also is a dark one, but as I hold it up to the light and I look at it behind something white, it has a good bit of green in it. So I'm looking more toward this end of our scale, which is our alkaline side. And since it's not quite green enough to be a 10, but it's not quite blue enough to be an 8, we're going to call it a 9. That's the end of our pH scale test with red cabbage water. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again next time.